Turn on the torch, light up the flame. Time to melt some glass, my friends. Hi and hello. I know I was just here a little while ago, and I feel like I got interrupted and I had to deal with the people that were here. Um, he mowed my lawn and I had to pay him. So actually, it forgot. Anyway, neither here nor there. I decided to go ahead and continue with that and make at least one or two more buttons and we can go from there. Actually, you know what? I forgot to open the web page, not the web page, but the chat room so that I can see if anybody actually comes in and says hi. Now it's there. We'll see and know if anybody's watching or going from there. Uh, okay, so let's continue with what we were doing. The 10 liter per minute oxygen concentrator is still on. I never turned it off, surprisingly. Now I'm going to go back into this button. I did not fire it out or anything. It caused a little bit of stress going on. Hopefully I can warm it back in and fix it. Otherwise it might crack in half. That's the one thing about these buttons. They do have a little bit of stress built into them. Oh, might help if I switch over to the other camera angle, right? Let's do that. Okay. Here we are. Come on. What's going on that it doesn't want to stay there? There we are. And there. Huh, how did that happen? I don't know. Anyway, there we go. Back to the chat room. So if you have anything you want to say, and I know that I'm sorry about kicking out of there before, but we'll get there. Warm it back in a little bit. So we will go from there. Got it up to temp. And actually, I'm going to try to use this larger buttonhole punch to see if I can widen the buttons holes without too much trouble. What happens is that there is a lot of stress going on when you're punching holes through glass, and if you do not take care of it and ease it in and ease it out just right, the button is going to break. Okay. There's one. Not the prettiest button in the world, but it'll do the job. I'm going to try to do a couple more the same way, dealing with the, I thought I had the holes nice, but I'm going to do it one more time all the way around. There we go. A little on the simple archaic side, but we'll do the trick. Again, I'll show you what it looks like when I put it onto the pants. I'll pick the best of the three. I'm going to do two more because I can. I'll pick the best of the three to actually go on the pair of pants. And the other two, I'll figure somewhere else to. Actually, I have some shirts that only have like two buttons on the top anyway, so that'll be a interesting, one of those pullover shirts that have buttons and a collar. Now, Actually, I'm going to pull that off, make an icicle out of it later, because it has a little bit of crud and stuff in there. I'm making an icicle out of it now. Why waste the time and effort when it's already hot and molten, huh? Here we go. Here we go, twisty twist. Just, instead of, and the icicle, you can use it for, sometimes it's okay to go ahead and spend the extra 2 or 3 seconds making, instead of just pulling it off and throwing it away. Right. Here we go. Making sure it's the right size for the button. Making sure also that the Dichro is flipped the film side up. Heating and pressing and getting it in there. That's looking good. Looking really good. After about 2 or 3 of these buttons, you'd think I might even know what I'm doing, right? Right. Now when I add the color, I add it just to the edge of the Dichro. And the reason I do that is so that when I flare out, or if I want to punch around the outside edge or whatever, like now I can just sort of get the clear going right to the edge of the Dichro on the bottom, and then press it again. Okay, now I'm going to take it off of the Punty. I think this one's going to be a little bit bigger than the last one. Not by much, though. Looking good. Surprising how big a button can be. I mean, how intricate you can get to a button. Okay, we're going to flatten that out a little bit. Shape it up a little bit. Some of the clear got to the edge, not above the edge, so we're going to pull that off. There we go. And now for the button holes. The button holes, I'm going to use the finer one. And I'm also going to kick down the torch pressure. Come on, there it goes, getting there. Yeah, now the reason I do this is so that I can get a finer buttonhole and put it closer to the center of the buttons. Last one, actually, let's see, should I, that's about the right size. Now it's just a matter of making sure that the holes are centered. Closer to the center this time instead of out of the outer edge. Okay. There's one button hole. This is a 4-button hole button, so I'm going to put 4 buttons back into, 4 holes back into the button. There we go. That's hole number 2. And you usually, when you're punching through, you'll hear it crunch a little bit, and that's good. And that's where the stress starts happening. But if you make sure you ream the holes well and also heat it up well, that shouldn't be a big problem. 2 down, 2 to go. Looking good so far. I can see nobody else showed up again, but that's okay. They'll watch it later. Yeah, you'll hear it crunch a little bit, and I'm going to try to see if I can get the thing close enough to the microphone so that you can sort of hear the crunch going on. Give me a sec. Oh, that one got to be a nice round reamed hole there. Here we go. I don't know if you heard that or not, but that was the hole crunching through. I could hear it. It's just almost like a light crunching noise as it goes through you know, breaks the surface tension of the hole where the two puncture pieces come together. Okay. And again, sorry about the other video. I had to take care of business, I guess you could say. That would have been okay to wait, but I'm the type of person that likes to get things done. And I think that is the first time that somebody's shown up. Somebody has shown up and called while I was making a video. I think I've had a phone call or two, or even a messenger deal going on, but okay. Let's shape it out a little bit more. It's looking good otherwise. Let's use the wider hole here. I'll get more uniformal at making these buttons, but it also gives it that homemade quality to know that you made it yourself. There we go. Button number 2. I'm going to warm that in and out a little bit here. Tap it off. Fire polish where you had the cold weld. And you got button number 2. One's a little bit bigger than the other, but that's about the way life goes anyway. Okay, I think this is the last of the Diacro pieces that I had that were about the same. Oops. There it is. This one again, I'm going to try to do it a little bit finer with less flame than I did the last time even. There we go. The Maria, making sure the Diacro is pointing upwards. Heat and then press it in again. Cover the Diacro, the bottom of the Diacro anyway, with color, and you could use any color you want. I think I'm using Turbo Cobalt at this point, which does the job quite nicely. It's a nice strong color, and it looks like a nice blue after the fact, if you know what I mean. Okay, now we're going to cut it off like I've done before. Pinch, 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 pinch. Nibble it off. Fire polish and smooth out. Yeah. Now you'll notice that you'll work a piece one time and you feel like you're all out of control and it's melting a little bit too fast or too slow. But anytime you do a new project, it's a good idea. You could start the flame where you like it normally, but learn to adjust. Learn to adjust the flame to where it's going to give you maximum glass potential, melting potential for the size that you're working with, the sculpturability, and so on and so forth. Now we're going to punch some holes here. This time I'm even going to try to make them more towards the center. There's one. Heat it back up. There we go. There's one. Oops. It's one thing about cold welds. Sometimes they're not on there as tight as you want them to be. This one's probably about the same way, but we're going to see what we can do with it. Both sides about where you're going to punch through. And again, I'm going to try to do this more towards the center. Two holes in it, two to go. Where you're going to punch through, heat both sides, and punch. Again, you'll hear that little light crunch going on. That's where, again, as the two punches come together in the middle, you got to break the surface tension in the glass to complete the hole. One, two, three. Let's get the fourth one, and it looks like this one's looking really, really nice. I think this is the one I'm going to use on the, well, I think I'm going to use the one that's not as pretty on the pair of pants because nobody will see that button, and put the ones that are more exquisite on the shirt, right? There we go. Making sure the holes are reamed out well. So, some cases, I guess it's better to do it off screen, but I still wanted to do these 4 buttons on video and get it done with. And again, I will, in up and coming videos, I will put a link when I do the final showing. I will put a link to where I put these buttons. What shirt. I'll do a quick video on what shirt I put them on and what the pair of pants, so that you can see what happened there. And with that, this time I am going to quit for the evening. I do have to work tonight, but that's a good thing. Pays the bills until. So, again, thanks for watching. I do enjoy the audience, even if it's latent sometimes. In other words, that they're not there alive and talking to me in the chat room. I know eventually somebody is going to watch it. That's a good thing. I love the buttons, and I wished a long time ago that I could do more with the buttons than I have, but now I have that capability. I'm pretty sure that I'm going to get and do a lot more with the buttons, and even get them a little bit more uniformal. As you can see, they're about the size that I want them comparatively, so it'll work on the shirt and stuff that I want it to work on, and we'll go from there. And the pair of pants. Thank you, carpe vitro, and enjoy your day.